Alright, y'all, so welcome back to another video. I am Jayla, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about sleep preparation. A lot of people do videos, myself included, on like night routines or whatever, but nobody is talking about what happens when the camera's cut off. Nobody's talking about spiritual hygiene or whatever when it's time for sleep. And our sleep is, as we know it, is one of our most vulnerable times. So it's very important that we're protecting ourselves and, protecting our mind and being in a good space when we are going to sleep. So I'm just going to share with y'all a few things that I do for my sleep preparation. And mind you, these aren't things that I do every single night because that would be crazy. But you can make it into a routine where you just do 2 or 3, or you just do 1. But it's important that you're protecting yourself and just being mindful of how open we are and how vulnerable we are in our sleep state, and just protecting that part of us. So they have no order, but I'm a kind of like, it's kind of an order, but not really. Just do what you feel is right. So first is, I would say, just be mindful. And before we get into it, also, this is for anybody who struggles with bad dreams, struggle with, I know people have like spiritual spouses or whatever they call it, when you have somebody on the other side who, or like another life or whatever, and they're coming back and visiting you, you having like sexual dreams, stuff like that. Just overall sleep health. So let's get into the video. Like I said, these have no like, there's no, it's just a list. It's not ordered or anything. So first I would say something that I do is Psalms. I use Psalms for sleep. You can, on any piece of paper, just write down basically how you want your sleep to go. If you want to have prophetic dreams, if there's anything you want to be revealed to you in your sleep, if there's any way you want to feel in your sleep, have blissful dreams, have prophetic dreams, anything, I would write that down on a piece of paper. And also I would use the verse, pray Psalms 91 over it, because that's a good protection Psalms. And there's other Psalms that are good for protection, but I use that one normally. Psalms 91. And you're going to fold that paper towards you, and you're going to put it up under your pillow, and you're going to sleep with it. So that's good for overall protection in your dreams. Another one is Black women. Now I think I've worn bonnets or like headscarves at night for so long, really my whole life, I can't go to sleep without one. It's just like, it's second nature, right? So bonnets and head wraps at nighttime, they protect our hair, but they also protect our head, right? And like I said, at nighttime, you're your most vulnerable, spiritually, whatever. So head wraps, always wear head wraps to protect yourself. 2 is, if you do, that you have like prophetic dreams, or like you get like a lot of downloads and stuff in your dreams, I would say keep a sleep diary next to your bed, so that when you wake up, you're not forgetting your. And when you wake up, that needs to be the first thing that you do. Is I don't know why my camera just cut off. That needs to be the first thing that you do when you do wake up. 1 second. Is write down your dreams or whatever into your diary or your dream journal or whatever. And that way also, if you have anything that you were confused about, you can contact the elder, anybody that you know, or go online and get a good interpretation of what it was that you were dreaming about, and just have it for record. Another one is mind what you're listening to in your sleep. When you are asleep, your mind is still working, it's still moving, right? Because it has to keep your heart pumping, it has to keep everything flowing. So when you are asleep, certain parts of our sleep, our mind is listening, right? It's open. So be mindful of what you listen to. I know some people listen to subliminals and stuff like that. If you do listen to subliminals at nighttime, I will always make sure that I listen to them in the daytime, to make sure it's not no weird stuff. I don't feel like weird about it, because people are weird on the internet. So I would be mindful, or even make my own subliminals and listen to that overnight. I would say sleep tube, you can listen to channels like that overnight, just to help your body relax, and also stuff like that helps to reset your nervous system. I would not go to sleep with stuff on the TV, like crazy commercials or like news and stuff like that, I wouldn't go to sleep. That's just way too much going on. And like I said, your mind is still up and it's working and it's moving while you are asleep. So be mindful of what you're listening to when you are in that space. Another thing is when it's time for you to wind down and go to bed. I know a lot of people, they be tired, right? So you're getting home, taking off your clothes, showering, whatever, not even thinking about anything, getting into the bed. Some people don't even do that. But when you are doing that, be mindful that you need to, I would say cleanse. That's what I would do. I like to cleanse. And for me, I'm a massage therapist. So when I have like really heavy days at work, I am more intentional about like my wind down time. I will come home, take a shower, and while I'm in the shower, water is cleansing, right? Cleansing property. So I would be mindful of that, and I would use that energy, right, of the water being a cleansing property, and just basically just wash the day off of me, wash everybody's energy off of me. You know, just coming in contact with a lot of people on daily, regularly, should be doing that anyway. And you know, it's clean. Go to bed clean. And just be mindful of how many people you come in contact with a day. Everybody doesn't have good intentions, and also a lot of people, you know, trauma dump throughout the day. And you work a job where your hands on dealing with people, you know, energies can, you know, jump to you. And it may not be no crazy energy, but just, you know, just make sure that you're cleansed and you're in your own energy before you do go to bed. Also, I would say, hold on, I wrote it down. I'm not a journalist, y'all. So, be mindful of your prayers, right? So there's a lot of prayers that we have that have been passed down, and they were during a different time period, and yes, those prayers work, but I will also be mindful of what those prayers are, right? If you black, you know the prayer, but just be mindful. If it works for you, it works for you, but just be mindful of what, you know, things are saying before you just start reciting them so much, because ultimately that is what you're bringing into your life, manifesting into your life. You can also tweak prayers, make them, you know, work for you, and you know, make them, you know, be for you or whatever. Like I said, Psalms 91 is a good prayer if you do still want to use you know, Bible stuff. Psalms 91 is a good prayer for protection, so pray that before you do go to bed. I was about to say, use oil, protection oil, spiritual oils, anointing oil, whatever y'all use. This is not, I'm not telling you what to use, but whatever you use, cascarilla, anything, I would say, use protection oils before you do go to sleep. And that's really, you know, for girls, if you want to be girly or whatever, that's a good thing to use for your nighttime routine, is make sure you put your protection oils you know, over your body and stuff before you do go to sleep. I do that, and I do my attraction oils and stuff like that before I go to bed, and being mindful that I am trying to protect myself while I'm asleep, because why our sleep is one of our most vulnerable times. Oh, another thing is be mindful when you do wake up at certain times. So our body has a circadian rhythm, which is our natural clock, right? It's a biological clock, natural clock of the body. If you are noticing, and you can look this up online, it's called a circadian rhythm chart. When you wake up at, like, say it's been 3 nights in a row, right? And you're waking up at 3 a.m. You don't know why you're waking up at 3 a.m. Maybe, I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna tell y'all no lies, because I don't know what part of the body it is related to at 3 a.m. But each part of our body, each organ in our body has a time where it detoxes. So maybe if you're waking up at a certain time, your kidneys are like having a hard time or whatever, or your spleen, it can be anything like that. But just look at that chart and just be mindful of the times that you're continuously waking up at night, because that can be related to your circadian rhythm, and maybe that place has a it needs to be balanced, or that place needs to be cleansed, or whatever that may be. Be mindful of that. And also, sometimes people, when they say that when you wake up between 3 and 5 a.m., pray. That's what they say, pray. Or it may just be somebody trying to contact you, maybe like an ancestor or something like that, I don't know. But make sure that you are you know, being in tune with the reason that you are waking up. Don't just ignore, like, oh, I've been waking up at 3 a.m. for the past 5 nights, and you just don't pay attention to it. You, like, be mindful, and, you know, try to know yourself, know your body, and, you know, figure out why you're waking up at that time. Don't just start scrolling or whatever. So I'm trying to see if I forgot anything. Protection, that's it. Okay, yeah. So that's all I got. Just make sure that you protect yourself when it is time for you to go to sleep, and just like you have a nightly routine for like your skincare, you getting you know, a good shower, you everything shower, make sure you have a spiritual sleep routines where you are protected and you're having good dreams and you're waking up in a good place, because how you sleep does in fact affect how you are when you wake up. And like I said before, our sleep is our most vulnerable time because we are traveling. Even though you feel like, oh, just sleep in one spot, no, your dreams are happening because it's you on another timeline, it's you in another whatever realm or whatever. Make sure that you are in tune with yourself and know your patterns, and you know, make sure you're asking the questions, you know, to yourself of why I'm waking up at this time, for waking up at a certain time for like a few nights at a time. And yeah, that's all for this video. Like, comment, pause, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you back for the next one.